Jessica, thank you for joining us tonight.
Andrea, thank you for having me. What an honor. What an honor to be on with so many great speakers. You, first of all, one of my heroes, and Robert, another one, Kira Sedgwick. That was amazing. Heather Booth is someone who I adore, pretty me, everyone here. And thank you to those of you who subscribe to my newsletter for being here. It's just been really great to hear everybody. And, I'm thrilled to see the numbers ticking up. I hope they will continue to tick up. This is the kind of place where your money is extremely well spent, to echo what Robert Hubble said. There's a couple of things I want to say about Virginia in particular. And if you don't know me, I publish a daily Substack also, or it comes out 6 days a week. But mine is a little different than Robert's, which is one of my mainstays. But I try to give people things to do. Mostly, that is mostly what I focus on. Is what can I take 5 or 10 minutes every day and do to actually move the needle on our democracy? And, it's calling your representatives, it's sending a letter, it's maybe signing a petition, but a lot of it now, more and more, is helping us win elections. And particularly on a state level. The longer I've been at this work, the more I have realized that state level elections are where it's at. They're so important. And Virginia, I take elections very, very personally. If I work on an election and we lose, I cry. I cry very, very hard. I take it really to heart. I don't like losing elections because when Democrats lose power, real people really suffer. The planet really suffers. People die. Like we saw an amazing study out this week about death rates in Republican red states versus blue states, and even red districts versus blue districts sitting right next to each other. And I believe that people in red cities are dying. It's like 3 years earlier than people in Democratic cities right next door to them. This is life or death. And this is why I work myself, as we all do, into the ground, because people die as a result of the elections we win or lose. So the Louisiana election results, like I'm crushed. I'm crushed by that. Low turnout devastates me. But Virginia is a real it's really in my heart. And I think because right after Trump won, this was really the first set of elections we were told about by people who were, probably Andrea had been working on stuff like this forever, but those of us who sort of really got into activism after Trump was elected, this was the first election other than Jon Ossoff's race in Georgia, which was never really going to be easy to win. Where people who understood the way things work told us this is a place you can make a difference. 2017, all the Virginia seats are up, get involved. And all of us sort of went, okay, what do we do? And we found out about the Center for Common Ground, for whom I've been volunteering for years, and some other organizations working in Virginia. We started writing postcards. We started doing phone banks. Again, I have been phone banking for the Center for Common Ground for years now. And when we won in 2017, we almost flipped the state house completely in 2017, right? And we didn't, because of one seat in, I believe, the House of Delegates. It was Shelley Simon's race. Was that House of Delegates? It was, right? Shelley Simons would have been the final seat that we needed to flip the House of Delegates in 2017. And that race was a tie. And they recounted the votes, and it was a tie again. And so they drew the name of the winner out of a hat or a film canister or some crazy. It was
bowl. They used
what was it?
A fish bowl.
A fish bowl, right? And the Republican won that draw, and so we did not gain the majority in that House of Delegates for 2 more years. We came back in 2019. We picked up the rest of the seats we needed. We flipped both seats in both state houses, both chambers in the Virginia State House. And in the 2 years that we held them, Democrats did all of this incredible stuff. They passed voting rights legislation. They passed climate legislation. They passed gun legislation. It was incredible. And then in 2021, I don't know if it was fatigue from COVID or if it was fatigue from the 2020 elections, but we lost enough seats that we lost our majority in the House of Delegates. We still have a 2-seat majority in the state Senate. That night, when I found out that we lost those, I wept because, again, when we flipped those chambers, they expanded Medicaid in the state for, I believe, 700,000 people. Real consequences that happen when Democrats get power. And when we lost that power, we were no longer able to do things like that. So I have been waiting for these elections. They are so important. And I will just say, from a climate perspective, Democrats had passed all this great climate legislation. Glenn Youngkin is trying desperately to pull the state back out of it because that's a smart thing to do when the world is on fire, right? Abortion rights. I don't need to repeat again what you all already know, but that's the last Southern state with abortion access without an abortion ban of some kind. Glenn Youngkin is dying to pass an abortion ban and sign it into law. It is the Democrats in the Senate who are stopping him right now. I have a non-binary child, 13 years old. Glenn Youngkin is desperate. He wants to sign 12 anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ bills into law. The only thing stopping him are those two Democratic senators right now in the majority. He wants to run for president. If he gets his guys into all the seats he wants to get them into, he will move forward and do that. And the last thing I'll say is that morale is so important, you guys, right? Just think of the morale hit we all took losing the Louisiana governor's seat. We can't lose this. We must win, and we can. If we lose these races in Virginia, it is our fault. It is on us. We have got everything we need. We have amazing organizations like the Center for Common Ground doing the work. Andrea knows exactly what she's doing. She knows exactly how to turn these voters out. It is on us to support the people who are doing the work that will get us the result we want. And so, can we give a little bit more than we're comfortable giving? I just did. Can we sign up for a phone bank? These are wonderful phone banks. You talk to lovely people, or you leave a lot of voicemails. It's really easy. Can we write some more postcards? Can we leave it all on the field for Virginia, for climate, for abortion rights, for LGBTQ rights, for democracy, for voting rights, because Glenn Youngkin is coming after those, and for morale as we go into the most important election year we have ever had in the history of this country. And so I think that's enough out of me, but I will just beg you, even if it's $10, if it's $10,000, whatever you have, I will vouch for this organization. They're one of the ones I will tell you I will volunteer for when I'm wondering where to spend my time. This is one of the places I will go. And I'm not even one of their important, we've heard from their important workers and their important volunteers. Please, please support them if you can. Do this work for Virginia right now. It matters what we do. A victory will feel so good and lives will be changed. And that's what we're here to do, right? So that's enough out of me. Thank you so much for having me, Andrea.
Thank you.